Hey everybody, this is Perch. This video kind of references an old video. It's like an old callback, so that's always fun. It's nostalgia. Nostalgia makes a lot of money, is what I hear. So we're gonna try and go back and get some of that nostalgia money, which is always super awesome. Anyway, so the mail goes like this: says, "Hey Perch, love your show. Love that you've put up so much content. You're a machine. I think you put out more videos than any other YouTuber out there. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how either." The only thing I can say there is that my general method for putting out videos and content is to as little quality as humanly possible. That's my secret. Works quite well. Anyway, let's continue. I was looking back at some of your old videos. Don't know why you do that. And I came across one that really spoke true to me. There was a woman who was talking about how she wanted a lesbian character, but she wanted the lesbian character to just do things and not constantly have relationship drama. She used the example of Spider-Man is not always talking about how he's straight or the girls he's going to bang, but instead just goes out and fights crime. In fact, when Peter Parker and Mary Jane were an item, they would go several issues without even seeing Mary Jane because Peter Parker would be fighting the Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter, the Hobgoblin, or something. I am gay, and my boyfriend and I both enjoy comics. For us, we are most annoyed when the gay characters are dealing with gay relationship drama rather than getting to do anything interesting. To me, this is a big problem with representation inside of comics. It's not representation and the characters get to be heroic and superheroes. It's representation and they have to talk about the representation and their relationships and who they're dating on a nonstop, constant basis. I would rather see straight characters or characters that are just out fighting crime rather than talking about who they are dating. Why can't the comic writers understand this? Thanks for all you do. Appreciate hearing your answer for this. Thank you. Okay. So the video the guy is referencing here is there. It kind of he summed it up quite well. This woman basically said she was a lesbian. She would like to see a lesbian character who just fought crime, a lesbian Spider-Man who was just doing stuff, doing superhero stuff, and not constantly talking about relationships. And that was the crux of the video. And it was well written. The mail was really well put together, and you felt for this person because it really did. It felt from the heart, felt genuine. There goes somebody with no muffler again. Anyway, it's not the comics that are going to drive me crazy. It's clearly Coming to Texas is going to drive me insane. Anyway, so I don't. So look, I think it's true. Now it's not to an extreme. I read the first issue of Jim Zub's Thunderbolts #1. I liked it a lot. I know Zub's been on this channel, and I like talking to Zub, but I really liked his comic. I'm hoping that people give the comic a good chance. There's one panel, one line, where somebody says this character or this hero tests well in the Latinx community, and it feels like everybody's going to bitch about that one word. And granted, Latinx, I don't know why people use that word either, considering how deeply unpopular and disliked it is by the Latina people. But okay, what I mean, you're trying to do your thing anyway. I'm predicting. I saw that and I'm like, man, people are gonna focus on this. But the comic itself is quite good. The comic has it feels like a classic kind of origin hero story in a team where you're bringing people together. There's some mystery. There's some it reminded me of how like the Avengers used to be when they were picking a new roster or stuff like that. It definitely had very strong West Coast Avengers, and I'm talking the '80s version of the West Coast Avengers, not the new one. Vibes to it, and it was good. The characters seemed threatening, some interesting back and forth, some layers of who's playing who. I felt like this it did a decent. We'll see. I think it could tip either way, and we'll see what Zub does with it, and this will kind of determine if I like the series or not over time. Is Hawkeye was treated not like a joke, but still with his flaws. And that was how the West Coast Avengers Hawkeye was. He had flaws. he would be, but they wouldn't go all in and making him a schmuck, which is how Hawkeye's been written in the last 5-6 years. Just, super crappy. And this one, he gets to actually do some things. His flaws are on display, but he's also, he punches out U.S. agent. And I mean, there's just some stuff to it that he's not written to be a complete sap, which is how a lot of people do it. So I appreciated that. Again, it felt like West Coast Avengers back in the day, and I enjoyed that series a lot. So, I liked it. But anyway, in this comic, you've got a lesbian character, America Chavez, and in this comic, there is no America Chavez, talking about her relationship. She's just showing up doing shit, and it's great. That was some of the best America Chavez I've seen in a while. Now you can't tell if Persuasion is trying to buddy up to her as a friend or more. Or there's a little subplot there, but in terms of America herself, she's just being a hero, punching stuff out, kicking ass. That's what the doctor ordered. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the dynamic quite a bit there. And I think that's the example of doing it right, where, you've got a character, established, gay, lesbian character, and the character's just being a hero. That's how it should be. But I do recognize, and you're correct, most comics, the majority of comics, whenever they introduce a gay character, it becomes the talking about the gay character's relationship show. And that's they don't give those characters much to do beyond beyond drama. In fact, what they'll often do is they'll save the kind of fight and the struggle for the straight characters, and they'll have the gay or lesbian character just beat the shit out of the villain immediately, and then go back to the boyfriend girlfriend relationship drama, and that's the screwed up part. You're not even giving them the ability to show off that they can fight well. You're just it's immediately going to, the most boring part of the story is the action, and we've really got to talk about who the character is dating, and it's nonstop. There's several comics that have gay and lesbian characters, bisexual characters, etc., and they can't shut up about being gay, and you wonder as you're reading this, who is it appealing to? Because I play it out this way: if it's a superhero comic and you're buying a superhero comic, when you picked up the book and the cover features some kind of action shot, it's a superhero book. And when you open it up, if you're a gay or lesbian person, bisexual, whatever you happen to be, if you're a gay person and you pick up the book and you're like, I picked up this superhero book because I heard there was a gay character in this book and I'm curious to read it. And then you read it and you quickly discover, that gay character doesn't actually get to do shit in this book. That gay character just gets to talk about who they're dating and kind of dynamics about the relationship, and then maybe have some lunch. And meanwhile, all the action, the straight characters getting all the action. They're the ones who are fighting the villains and doing all the heavy lifting, and then maybe the gay character gets to come in and just like boink, the villain on the head, and the fight's over. If you are picking up this book to get some good, strong character development, if you're picking up this book to get something significant out of it, you won't. And this is, I think, why you had people go these days to Apollo and Midnighter. Those characters were written to be badasses. They would show up and they would beat the shit out of the villains, and they would do superhero stuff in the superhero book. And then they would, they would have some relationship banter, between punching people out. And it was a good balance. People like that. And so I like I said, we had that earlier video, that earlier mail, now this one. I think this is pretty typical of gay and lesbian readers of comics. This is what they're, especially superhero comics, Western comics, this is what they're here for. They're here for, they're here for just superhero stories, period. Regardless of the straight, gay, whatever, of the character. They just want a good, solid story. But if they do want some level of representation in the book, they really want that character out doing badass things in the superhero book that they picked up, and not suddenly it's like, well, it's got a gay character in there, so we need to make it slice of life and filled with relationship drama. That's not what they came to the table for. My feeling is that's the majority of readers, and I would also guess that's why it's not taking off. The comics have pivoted hard to have more representation, but the sales numbers indicate they aren't getting the purchases for the representation they're putting in. I think a key clue there is they're it's a superhero book. People are buying a superhero book. It's somehow a slice of life book where the characters don't even get to do anything interesting. Yeah, who's going to sign up for that? Anyway, thank you for the mail. Thank you for the bit of nostalgia there. Really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.